Inside the Pavalu here. Welcome in, guys. Like we start every podcast with a Bible verse. Like we start every podcast with a Bible verse. Today's Bible verse that is to Isaiah 43:2. When you go through deep waters, I will be with you. When you go through rivers of difficulty, you will not drown. When you walk through the fire of oppression, you will not be burned up. The flames will not consume you. Isaiah 43:2. And with that being said, I'm with
Christian Johnson.
All right, Christian. Well, thank you for stopping by, man. Sorry I had that little stumble right there. I wrote it twice
Hey,
because I
you're
was
good,
trying
man.
to bring you in. And usually, like, I'll either have the Bible verse ready or I'll have the person have it. Today, you had the Bible verse, so that's a great Bible verse. I actually have my favorite verse comes from Isaiah 60:22. So when the time is right, the Lord will make it happen.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny how we kind of came across each other, the power of social media, right?
Yeah.
So I had a buddy of mine who's a runner. Hits me up. He's like, "Hey, you got to get this guy on." And so then I followed you, saw who you were, and then when I saw your stories, I saw that you were on Bring the Juice, right? So I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh shoot, like who is this guy?" Right? And then I started seeing your stories a little bit. Then I saw ABC 30. I saw that you were doing this and that. So kind of let us know a little bit about who you are.
Yeah. So I'm a Madera boy, Valley boy. Lived in Madera my whole life. I do a little bit of farm work, actually custom owner-operated farm services business, and do a little bit of real estate out of Madera as well. And got a couple other small business ventures, and I coach endurance athletes on the side. But other than that, I've been an endurance athlete for 13 years,
Okay.
ranging from obstacle course racing to ultra marathons. I've done American Ninja Warrior in 2019. I've done triathlons, Ironmans, and mega ultra marathons, like multi 100-mile races. And then I have an upcoming Guinness World Record that I'm doing in a couple weeks from now.
Yeah. So we're today's Halloween, right?
Yeah.
So happy Halloween to everyone out there, and we'll probably drop this podcast before you start your. Is that Project 5077 is what you're gonna do?
Yeah. So I named it Project 5077 because I'm doing a 50K on 7 continents in 7 consecutive days.
Yeah.
So that's a 31-mile run every day for 7 days in a row, and I have to fly around to each continent and be there, every day in a row.
That's one. Sounds wild, right? Where are you starting?
So I fly out of LA November 10th, and I
Okay.
get into Cape Town, South Africa on the 12th, and I have to stay there for a couple days because we have some briefings and emergency things we have to go over, and then from there we take a cargo plane to Antarctica. It's called Wolf's Fang. It's this research base in Antarctica. Basically, Antarctica just has multiple research bases. There's nobody that lives there full time, as far as I know.
Yeah.
But the only time of the year you can get there is basically from November to like February because that's their summertime.
Oh wow.
So we fly out there. It's about a 5-hour flight. We land and we run the runway that we land on just out and back a bunch of times. And then we basically got 8 hours from the time we land to run and get back on the plane and fly back to Cape Town. Then we stay the night in Cape Town, run Cape Town, South Africa the next morning. And then we fly over to Perth, Australia, run Perth. And then from Perth, we go to Abu Dhabi, the United Arab Emirates. And then I believe we're staying, with the way the time change works and the flights work, we're staying there at a hotel that night. And then we fly over to Algarve, Portugal, run that, and then go to Cartagena, Colombia. And we actually start that one at midnight. So on the 6th day, we start basically, it's like right when the day starts at midnight. So we'll run that one in the dark, and we fly to Miami, Florida for the 7th run. And that's where we finish on day 7.
Wow. I mean, so you've been doing this for 13 years. I mean, I kind of, I cheated a little bit. You told me your birth date. So you've been doing this since you were 18 pretty much.
Yeah. I started, when I was 18.
Were you an athlete? And I think I saw one of your clips that you said you weren't really an athlete in high school, right?
No, it's kind of funny. I grew up, I played soccer. I played, a couple sports here and there. I was mostly a kid that was a skater and a BMXer. I love going to the skate park. Love riding bikes, love getting road rash on my arms and my legs all the time. I'd set up all these little plastic ramps in my front yard and try to jump my driveway and all that kind of crap.
Yeah.
That's just how I grew up. I loved it. I rode dirt bikes, got into riding quads as a teenager. High school, I played football, played golf as well. Was never really a great athlete. I was a tall, skinny guy, and it's funny because I played O line and D line, but
I mean,
I was fast.
Usually we have to do that in our smaller towns, right?
Yeah, yeah. I was fast. I had an engine, but I was never really strong. Um, after high school, raced a little bit of motocross and got into CrossFit and kind of started running. And when I started running is when I got interested in doing a Tough Mudder obstacle course race. And I have actually have a video of this on my Instagram I just made about a month ago, kind of talking about my origin story. When I was 18, a good buddy of mine and we were training together, and we were actually talking about doing our first Tough Mudder together. And unfortunately, he was in an accident, was killed, and I think it was, May, about 5-6 months later, I did my first Tough Mudder after he had passed away. And I had just hurt myself riding quads out in Pismo, dislocated my hip.
Oh, shit.
And yeah, so I was hurt, and he passes away.
So then you had motivation at that point.
Yeah. So, got myself together and did my first Tough Mudder and fell in love with it. And then from there, just kept doing them and doing it.
I mean, so everyone out there, just to kind of get an idea, right? What is a Tough Mudder?
So a Tough Mudder is obstacle course race, kind of like Spartan race.
Okay.
So Spartan actually owns Tough Mudder now as well. So it's a 10-mile run you do with about 20 to 25 obstacles. And I fell in love with doing that. It was something I could train for all the time, something to keep me on track to stay healthy. And I was kind of like the weekend warrior. I would just go out and do one or two of these races on a weekend when they had them somewhere in California or somewhere on the West Coast, and then you go drink beer afterwards and just like kind of party, right? You're like, yeah, I'm just gonna go have fun and party. And then it was probably, so that would have been 2013 when I did my first one, and then I think it was two years later, 2015, I did my first 24-hour obstacle course race. So they call it the world's toughest mudder. 24 hours, 5-mile course with over 20 obstacles. And you're in and out of water the whole time with these obstacles. So at night when it gets cold, well, guess what? You got to put a wetsuit on. And you're running in a wetsuit, and you're freezing, and it's cold. And that was like the biggest eye-opening experience for me, because that's the hardest I'd ever tested myself. And I ran 50 miles at my first one. And I remember watching, I tell a story a lot. I remember watching one of the top athletes at the time, Ryan Atkins. I mean, he's still one of the best obstacle course racing athletes in the world right now. He did 100 miles at that event, and I did 50. And I remember thinking, there's no way I will ever be able to do that. That's impossible. I don't even know how he can do that. Like, there's no way. So I kept, year after year, I kept doing them, kept racing. 2019, did my first 100-mile ultra marathon out in Reedley, and started getting into triathlons and just incorporating all this other endurance. And over those years, I kind of jumped a time gap there. But
no, you're good.
2015 to 2019, just kept doing these obstacle course races, kept training hard, kept doing CrossFit, I actually converted a lot of my training over to more endurance running, because I thought, well, I'm good at these obstacles because I got good grip strength, good calisthenics, all kind of stemming from CrossFit training. But I'm not a good endurance runner. So I really started to transform my training into more running around 2018. And then from there, I started to see progression. I was getting better and better. And then 2021 comes around, and I show up at World's Toughest Mudder that year. It was out in the desert. And right before that event, so my buddy that I mentioned that passed away when I was 18, his dad passed away right before this event. And his funeral was that weekend. And I had this moment before I left of like, what should I do? Should I not do this race and stay back and go to his funeral? Or should I go do this race and do this in memory of him and kick ass and make my goal of hitting 100 miles? And I decided to go, and I raced it, and I hit 100 miles. And I became, I believe it was the 10th or 11th person in the world to have ever run 100 miles at one of these events.
Really?
And from there, it was like, everything started to kind of click. And,
this was in 2021. 2021.
Yeah. And that was a huge life goal of mine. All these years of doing World's Toughest Mudder. Like I said, my first one, I did 50 miles and watched somebody do 100. I never thought it would be possible. And I went and did it. And, I hired a coach about 6 months before that, really started to restructure my training, and things just all kind of clicked in 2021. And from there, just kind of started to broaden my horizons of training and events, and eventually did my first Ironman in 2023, qualified for Ironman World Championships. I got a drop-down slot, which means they allow so many slots. So like in my age group, they had 9. The first place through 9th place, you get an automatic slot to go to Ironman World Championships. I was 13th place. So if somebody didn't take a slot, it'll drop down and then you can take it. So for anybody listening that is big with Ironmans, I'm honest about it. I didn't technically qualify. I took a drop-down slot, but
So people dropped out that got you in.
well, so if somebody already has their qualification to go to Worlds, and then they don't take it, it'll go to the next person.
Got
or if
it.
somebody is like, oh, I can't go or I don't want to go, it'll go to the next. So I took a drop-down qualification slot.
But I mean, that's still good. 13th out of how many people though?
I don't remember, but it was my first Ironman, and so
I'm pretty sure there was more than 100 people, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes, I mean, that's still, bro. That's
Yeah,
good.
there's a lot.
Yeah.
But I know the Ironman community and the triathlon.
They're gonna come at you.
Yeah, they're pretty stingy. Love you guys though. So 2023 raced Ironman World Championships in Nice, France, which was, I mean, absolutely incredible. Super.
You said East France?
No, Nice, France.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
France.
Yeah.
That's still crazy good though.
Yeah, it was nuts. That course was so beautiful. Did World's Toughest Mudder again that year. And then 2024 did another Ironman and did World's Toughest Mudder again. So actually 2021, I ran 100 miles at Worlds. 2022, I ran 95. It was a really cold year, and I missed going out for my last lap by like a minute. And I missed the 100 mark, which.
Oh, you have to like meet markers to continue?
You're on a time frame.
Got it.
So they cut off the start line an hour and a half before the finish, before the technical finish time. And
you missed it by a minute?
I missed it by like a minute or two.
Wow.
So I was struggling. It was like 30 something degrees overnight that year, and you're in and out of this freezing cold water, and it was just.
Yeah,
I was wrecked.
Couldn't even imagine, bro.
Yeah, I was wrecked, but I was a little disappointed in myself. So I carried that with me to 2023, and that was in Texas. Did another 100 miles, took 5th place, and then last year I had a goal. I said I want to take top 3 at World's Toughest Mudder, and it was in Florida. And I went and did 105 miles, took 3rd place.
Wow, that's awesome.
So it's just. My main, with this long story, my main background is obstacle course racing, but that transferred into all these other ventures with endurance and kind of made me a well-rounded athlete. And then now 2025, here we are. And this year, didn't do any Ironmans this year. Actually did not do World's Toughest Mudder this year. They moved it over to the UK in the summertime. Over the years, it's always been in November, and it's been somewhere in the U.S., but they kind of transferred business structure around a little bit. So Tough Mudder UK now owns World's Toughest Mudder, the specific 24-hour race.
Yeah.
So it's in the summertime, and I did the Arizona Monster 300 in April. So it's a 304-mile ultramarathon across Arizona. And I mean, that was an incredible experience. Just
304 miles.
304 miles took me 120 hours and 30 minutes. So 5 days and 30 minutes to finish.
That's
incredible, incredible experience. I mean, good prep for what I'm about to do. Little different, but good prep to experience that time on feet and the pains and stuff you go through. Yeah. So after that, I had one race actually before that out in Kuwait. I raced 2 obstacle course races in Kuwait beginning of this year. Had an opportunity to go out with the obstacle course team I'm a part of, and they were awesome. They pretty much paid for everything while I was there. Just had to fly out there on my own dime, and super cool to see Kuwait and experience that. You know, as Americans, we think, oh, we can't go to the Middle East. It's bad. You know, the news says it's bad.
Yeah.
Middle East is beautiful, man. It's beautiful. The culture is way different than here, obviously, but so cool to experience that stuff.
I need to apologize for my dog in the background, man. Can you want to close the window real fast? Obviously we're a startup, right? You know, you're starting up, and you kind of done a lot of things, but you know, obviously we do it here out of our home in our spare bedroom, right? So sometimes we can't we can't limit the distractions.
Hey, that's your biggest fan out there.
Yeah, I know. He's over there. He's cheering you on, bro. He's talking about all the stuff that you're doing and all that. He's like, wow, he wants to run too, bro. Nah.
Yeah.
But what's kind of cool though. Okay, so you kind of talked a little bit about that. Obviously, the goal for you is that to eventually be that kind of athlete. I think to do this for a living and continue to go on these trips. Because I mean, right now you're pretty much. Are you financing it yourself?
Yeah, man. I've always financed this stuff myself. I've been an athlete for one supplement company, and actually on my own separated from them earlier this year because as I was building this project out, I believed in it so much in so many different ways. And one of those ways was I know I'm going to potentially be able to bring on bigger sponsors, and the current company I had been with didn't really want anything to do with this big project I was putting together. And I still love them and respect them. And
yeah,
I use their products. They're great. Excuse me. One of my best friends runs their endurance side of the company.
Okay.
But yeah, I envision there being more opportunity coming my way. So,
no, yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, and I'm going to kind of tie in a little bit about what we've been talking about. Obviously you broke it down what you do, right? So what is Project 5007? I mean, I know 5077. I know we talked a little bit about it, but what's I guess you can say, what's the inspiration behind it?
Yeah. So the inspiration behind this Guinness World Record is to raise awareness for Parkinson's. My grandpa was diagnosed with Parkinson's. It was about 4 years ago or so. Okay. He had a stroke, and after that, we thought he potentially had Alzheimer's and some other things, but he went through a bunch of tests and come to find out he has Parkinson's. And as I was putting this project together, so this kind of jumps back to now it's middle of 2024.
Okay.
I saw an advertisement for a company called the Great World Race. They do 7 marathons, 7 continents in 7 days. And that kind of stuck in the back of my head for the remainder of 2024. Then towards the end of the year, I thought, what am I doing next year? Like, obviously I've got still more goals and things I want to accomplish with obstacle course racing. I want to do, or I was already registered to do the Arizona Monster 300. And I thought, well, what can I add in that's like worldwide? So I was thinking, okay, well, what can I do on every continent in 7 days? And I started looking up stuff on Guinness and, kind of putting this all together. Long story short, I reached out to Guinness and I said, hey, I want to run like a 55 or 60K on every continent in 7 days. And they said, well, we've had one female in the world in 2017 do an ultra marathon on every continent in 7 days. And it's a 50K distance because that's a base ultra marathon distance is a 50K. So they said, it doesn't matter per Guinness specifications if you run a 55K or a 60K or whatever. It has to be a 50K or you have to go up to a 50 miler, a 100K or a 100 miler. I thought, well, with the timing of things and flying around the world and all this, a 50K seems reasonable. A 50 miler would be a bit of a stretch. That'd be 350 miles in 7 days, but trying to run that, get on a plane and fly to the next continent.
Yeah.
Just it's a lot more time consuming than running 31 miles. So Guinness and I agreed to, okay, we're going to do this record. And they said, well, you'll be the first male to ever do this. We have the female that's done it, but no male has ever done it in this structure. So we agreed on that. And that's when I started kind of putting it all together.
And that all started this year or late 2024?
Yeah.
Is when you kind of had like brought that idea, like, what am I going to do for 2025?
Yeah. In December.
And you already ran a 304 this year.
Yeah. In April, I ran a 304-mile ultra. But when I reached out to Guinness, I think it was December of 20. Okay. It was either December or January. And that was my first step. It's like, okay, let's figure out the record part. Yeah. And then from there we can start to figure out how to put the logistics together. So I got the record certified with Guinness. And then I just started reaching out to people. I said, how can I get to Antarctica? Because that's number one on the list.
Yeah.
I wanted to follow the same structure as this company does. And I was reaching out to people that are tied in with the military that said, oh, you could probably jump on a cargo plane out of some Air Force base or something, fly over there. And it started to become just this crazy, excuse me, this crazy
impossible mission
conundrum of trying to put it together. So what I ended up doing was I reached out to the Great World Race, the company that does the 7 marathons on every continent. I said, hey, can we get on a Zoom call? This is what I'm trying to do, blah, blah, blah. And they said, yeah. So I get on a Zoom call and they said, well, guess what? The female that has this record, she came with us in 2017. We were her witnesses. We certified her distance. We wrote the letter to Guinness for her. We can do the whole thing for you the same.
Nice.
I was like, perfect. Because basically going with them certifies, or doesn't certify it, solidifies all your logistics. You know, they're going to fly you around everywhere. You don't have to worry about the flights. It's all private plane. You don't have to worry about commercial flights where you have potential for being delayed or weather delay. You know, the things, I mean, we can still have weather delays, but, you know, it's not like a normal airport where, say, you go to Dallas and 90% of the time you're going to get delayed and stuck there.
Yes, yeah.
You know? So...
Are you taking a team with you or just you?
No, I'll tell you what, I'll talk about the finances too. I've had a lot of people ask me about finances, and I'm not afraid to talk about it.
Oh, for sure.
Actually, this morning, my wife was, I don't have a TikTok, but...
you got to get a TikTok, bro.
Dude, I need to, man. I've had a couple this year, to be honest, but I delete them because the algorithm just goes haywire, and I'm like, this is just brain dead crap I'm seeing. But I need to make one. But somebody commented on my the ABC 30 news video that was out, and we're talking about, bet daddy paid for all that, you know, just talking trash.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Which I expect to get, right? But I'll talk about the finances and how all this played out, and I'll be super transparent about it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
No, for sure. That the whole point of, like I said, this is such a unique podcast. This is such a unique event, and what you're doing, bro. Like this is what exactly this podcast is about.
Yeah,
you know, people like that you're trying this and why you're doing it, and you know, I would have never thought or imagined I'm going to talk to an athlete that does 304 miles, you know, running the state of Arizona, bro. It's like, it's crazy. It's wild, but it's cool. And I'm liking how you're breaking it down, because everyone out there that's watching is listening and really seeing how, I think the biggest thing about your story is that just chase your dreams. Go after what you're going to do, you know, what inspires you. Yeah. And I think that can go to a variety of stuff, not only from running or podcasting or whatever that person is doing, you know. But I just wanted to throw that in real quick and not cut you off. But
no, you're good. No, and I appreciate you letting me break this down in long form.
No, yeah, break it down, bro.
Most podcasts, it's like the person interviewing you will just, you know, continually ask you questions and stuff. But being able to kind of break this whole story down into,
because I'm intrigued. Remember I was telling you, I go, the one thing I think that's different with my interviews is sometimes if I try to do the research on the person. Yeah. But I want to get to know you literally as they're getting to know you. Yeah. So I think I'm intrigued right now. So go ahead and continue, you know, like let us know.
Where did we leave off?
You were talking about,
Okay. So as I'm talking to the Great World Race, I had already kind of known in the back of my mind how much they cost to go with them. And they're a group that allows up to 60 people to sign up to go run a marathon or a half marathon on every continent, 7 days. And that doesn't include your flight to Cape Town, where you start from to fly to Antarctica, or home from Miami. So you got to pay for all that. Plus, you got to pay for your trip insurance. They don't cover that, so which was very expensive as well. So they said, well, we can break this down into 3 payments for you, and it's $55,000.
$55,000 a payment?
No.
Oh, in total. Okay, I was like, dang, bro.
But you have to wire money over to the UK, to their account, and it's a conversion. So obviously their euros are different than the USD, and the USD throughout this year has decreased. So by my third payment, I was paying almost like $1,500 more than what my first payment cost because of the decrease in value.
Wow.
So
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Out there.
Yeah. So all in all, just signing up with them ended up costing me about $60,000. Plus,
so like 20 a piece, then pretty much. Did you do the 3 payments?
Yeah. And so my first thought was, how am I going to do this? Yeah. Like, how am I going to make this happen? Like, I believed in it so much already. I thought, well, with my ag business, I had cut out some of my wintertime stuff, and I had cut some things out in the past 1.5 years, 2 years, because I started to really believe in my passion and what I was doing. I was like, I know I need to lock in. I'm gonna take a huge pay cut with some of my business stuff I'm doing. Plus, I had invested a bunch of money into a cold plunge company that I started end of 2024.
I saw you do a cold plunge last night.
Yeah. So that's.
So do you recommend that? We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
I don't want to cut you off.
But that is a cold plunge that my company sells. But yeah, all that money I invested into that didn't pay itself back as fast as I thought it would. It still hasn't. FYI for entrepreneurs out there, it takes time. Uh, so I was like, I don't have any kind of money to pay for this right now. Like, absolutely not. So I ended up taking a loan for my first payment, $17,500 for the first payment. I took a loan. And I was like, okay, well, by the time the second one comes around, I'll be in my summertime ag work. I'll have enough money to do that. So summertime comes around, and start doing all my ag work. I got, some money set aside for it. And then one of my biggest ag clients, I'm like ready to head out to his place to start doing some work. I get a call. Hey, we're going to do this work ourselves this year. I'm like, what? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, we didn't tell you? Like, no, you guys never reached out. I took a huge pay cut, lost a ton of money that I've had coming in from that same client for 4 or 5 years in a row now. And I'm like, damn, man, like I'm just getting hit hard. Like I'm paying for all this. I got a loan I'm paying back. I expected this money to be here, which I was going to be smooth sailing to pay for the rest of the stuff. And I was like, dude, like I'm not in a good spot financially.
Yeah.
Plus, before that, I bought a house in an investment property in Waco, Texas last year, just as an investment, a rental, cheap house. Ended up selling it earlier this year, and I had kind of planned to sell it already. I wanted to dabble with having an investment property. Older house, has some structure issues. I thought, well, I know in the future it's going to cost me a lot to fix these structural issues, so let's try to sell it. So fortunately, I was able to make my money back on that house by selling it. And I used part of that to also go towards this whole project. So I'm like trying to bring in money from, multiple venues here or ventures and, afford this whole thing. And, then I get hit with losing this big ag client of mine this year. And so I managed to get through the first 2 payments. Third payment comes around, closed a real estate deal. And I was like, okay, I'm good. Like, thankfully I made it through. I was able to pay for it. As all this is going on, since I'm doing a Guinness World Record, I didn't put out the fact that I was doing this project until July.
Of this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had put it all together between December to March. It was pretty much solidified. All I had to do was make sure I got these payments made to the company, but everything was pretty much ready to go by March. Like I knew it was happening. So June comes around. I get my videographer buddy to start filming stuff for me. And I said, I need to put out a video, like a legit release video of what I'm doing. Have me do like a sit down. We're going to add clips to it of me running, blah, 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 explain the whole thing. So I released that in, I believe it was end of June or July. And that was the first time I had released it to the public. And the funny thing was I had gone to, First Form, this brand.
I don't.
So Form Energy, this is their energy drinks. They're one of the world's largest supplement companies.
Okay.
Have you heard of Andy Frisella, a Hard AF podcast?
I have not.
Oh, man, you're a podcast guy.
But I tell you though, I don't watch podcasts,
I know.
dude. Next time you got to give me this before, so I don't look like this.
No.
I'm joking. No, so okay, but go ahead.
I'm backtracking a hair here, but
No, you're good.
this just kind of goes to some opportunity that was offered to me before I even released this to the public. My wife and I it was actually our 1-year anniversary. We decided to go to the First Form headquarters in St. Louis because they had their yearly big party. It's kind of like their appreciation party.
Okay.
It's like a 3-day deal of like a fitness event, concerts, just crazy. It was so much fun. Well, while I was there, some of my favorite podcasters that I've been listening to for years were there. They're called the Drinking Bros. They're out of Texas. And we randomly like run into them. We get to talking to them, hanging out with them. They're just super cool with us. So I get to telling one of the 2 guys about what I'm about to do. He says, hey, why don't you come out and come out to our show in July? I said, just come out and like watch your show. Cause they let people come in live. Like while they're doing their show, they just leave the door open and people can walk in and watch. He's like, no, come be a guest on our show. These guys have like Cameron Hanes on. They've got famous comedians, Matthew McConaughey. I mean, like,
yeah, they're big time.
Like legit people. I've been listening to them for, like I said, 8 years.
I'm going to get there after, and I'm going to start.
Yeah, I have a couple of clips up on the Instagram with them, but he's like, no, come be on our show. I was like,
you exposed me, bro.
Yeah.
I'm just joking.
was like, you serious? He's like, yeah. He's like, people love this kind of stuff. Like, come just tell us about what you
No, they really do, bro. I mean, look at me. I'm intrigued. Like, I'm tripping out. Like, what the heck? You know, it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I just felt like super blessed that I had that opportunity. So I said, yeah, 100%. Like, I'll come out there, like whatever it takes.
And you ended up going out there?
Yeah. So I ended up.
I'm like, what? Tell me. I want to know.
So I ended up dropping my release video before I went out there. So it hit the public, and we go out to Texas, and I do the show, and that gets pushed out. And their listeners, it's a lot more. They're kind of like a funny political show in a way, and just super off the wall. So it got out there a little bit. You know, I got some followers from it. I got some people following me on Strava, and you know, it was just cool to have that opportunity to sit down and talk with those guys. It was so awesome. Yeah. So then, you know, I get back home, video's released. I'm pushing the video hard on social media, trying to just kind of do more stuff on social media to expose this whole thing. And it's kind of a slow start getting it out there. And just over the next couple of months, just kind of kept pushing it, reaching out to companies nonstop. Even before I dropped the video, I was emailing companies. I had my whole athlete resume of everything I've done. And I've done over 100 races in the past 13 years.
Yeah, you were mentioning
across like
telling us
everything. And I got 99 no's out of 100 asks. And it's like, I was like, wow, man, I thought this would be a little bit easier.
Yeah.
But as I already kind of knew going into this, I don't have a big social media following. I've got, you know, over 5,000 followers now. In May of this year, I had like 1,500.
Yeah, so you grew 3,500.
So I built it, and a lot of that too was I was paying to boost ads for the project. I wasn't paying for followers. I was just literally boosting reels. Like,
you're paying for followers, Christian.
No.
No, I get what you're saying though. Yeah. I totally understand it, bro. Because we just talked pre-interview, right? When I tell you like, we don't have no following yet. But I'm new to it. Look, I mean, you exposed me about the podcast. That was a joke, but I'm so new to the whole thing. And one thing I do want to give a shout out to is you were on the Bring the Juice.
Yeah.
Right. So shout out to my neighbor River. He's a part of that show, and I've learned a little bit about that through, you know, obviously having my neighbor do it. And it's kind of wild how, like, when you're getting involved in podcasting, I've had other podcasters reach out to me and like, hey bro, would love to come on your show. And I'm like, what? Like, I don't know. I mean, sometimes I have to even like slap myself. Like, I have a show. Like, it's not, cause it doesn't feel nothing yet because it's barely beginning. Yeah. But hearing you say it, bro, makes me feel good because it's like, I seen you. Remember, I was like, dang, this guy's working. Like, he's on Bring the Juice. He was on ABC 30, you know, this and this. And now you're talking about this big podcast in Texas. When everyone gets to really see this, they're seeing the genuine side of it. Like, it doesn't just happen overnight. 100 asks, 99 no's, you know? So I don't think they quite understand. Like, you have to really, it has to be something you're passionate about and you really want, you know, because it doesn't happen just overnight. Yeah. No offense to that comment. It's not daddy's money, bro. Yeah. Like, we're trying to do something that we love, and we're going to make it happen at any means necessary. Yeah. And the one thing I will bring up about my show, at least, is like, that's all God, brother. Yeah. You know, like, things happen for a reason. You know, if you would have asked me 3-4 years ago, hey bro, you're going to be podcasting with Christian who's about to do Project 5077, I would have said, who's Christian? And you're crazy, you know? Yeah. And look at us now. Yeah. And I feel like I'm catching you at the beginning, because once you complete this Guinness World Record, Christian, you're going to be hard to touch, bro. I'm glad that I, got to meet you now and before you take off, because at the end of the day, this is where the connections build. This is where the networking starts, and people are literally seeing it live. Yeah. And because I just met you before you got here. Yeah. It's not like, hey, I got introduced. Hey, you should bring this guy on. Oh, okay. Got to see who you kind of interacted with. And we literally just landed the KC24 thing like last week. So it's like baby steps. And as we're growing, one day you can come on and you're kind of already introducing it to people, but they can really see like, dang, this guy grinded for 13 years and this is what it transpired. You're just a Madera boy. Yeah. I'm just the Mendota / Fargo boy, because I live in Fargo now, but I grew up in Mendota, So it's like small towns. That's the cool thing about, I guess, this and, people like yourself and myself and just everyone out there that's attempting to be entrepreneurs or business owners, small business owners, right? Yeah. It's not what you think. And it's a lot of no's. Yeah. It's a lot of rejection. It's a lot of people telling you can't do it. Yeah. And I think people like yourself and I was once an athlete, not nowhere near the level of yourself, but it's that competitive nature in us. You
Yeah.
know, you're gonna want to try to go out there and not necessarily prove people wrong, but prove yourself right.
That's what it's all about.
I can do this, you know, because I think before I used to think like, oh, I'm gonna prove this person wrong, or I'm gonna show this person up, and then I'm gonna be honest, bro. When you're at your lowest in life, what does it matter? Those people are laughing at you anyway, and you're still at the bottom. So it's like when you prove yourself right, it's not that you're like, haha, to this person. You're just more like to that other person that's down. You're like, hey, dude, get up. Like,
Yeah.
I was there once, and I can tell you what I'm going through. You know, so that's the cool thing. But I want to ask. I didn't mean to cut you off. So
You're good. You're good.
it's kind of chiming, you know. But it was. I felt you saying that I wanted to really implement out that to people out there that are watching that they see you, bro. Because I see you from afar right now. I'm thinking like, dang, this guy's this, and this. You know, I had a certain impression of you.
Yeah.
Not a bad one, but I was just like, hey, this guy's doing it. You know, but in reality, you're breaking it down to like, it's just started happening.
Yeah.
You know, from July. That's kind of wild, bro.
Yeah.
Like we started podcasting in April. And prior to me being a podcaster, I didn't watch podcasts. I'm more of a clip watcher.
Yeah,
That's why I say you got to be TikTok. You're all right though. You can get stuck on TikTok watching clips all, you know, wasting your time. But yeah, no. The one thing I do want to ask you is, what is your, like, obviously all this happening, all this occurring in your life, everything you're doing. What is, and you know, all the no's, all the rejections, all the positives out now. What is your relationship like with the Lord?
Honestly, man, growing up, I was a kid that was forced to go to church every Sunday.
Okay.
Right? You know, I was baptized as a baby. I grew up going to a Lutheran church.
Okay.
And nowadays, I go to the Well Community Church out in Clovis.
Okay.
I don't go every Sunday like I should, but
yeah, no. Same.
I don't believe you have to go to church all the time to have a personal connection with God. The way I break down my connection with the Lord, you know, it's rocky at times for sure.
For sure.
You know, I go through my ups and downs. But at the end of the day, every night when I go to bed, I know that no matter what, I believe in God and I trust in His process. And just what I've gone through this year, I mean, dude, I went basically broke at the beginning of this year, man. I've fought through depression through many years of my life. A lot of people don't see that. I don't put it out to the world, but
exactly.
You know, and I see a lot of people on social media talk about being depressed, this and that. I'm like, dude, everybody's depressed, man. Like everybody goes through this kind of crap. Everybody goes through, you know, maybe even being suicidal, man. Like I've been at some very lows in my life, and I know at the end of the day, I'm here on this earth for a purpose, and God put me here. I have young parents. My dad was 17 and my mom was 19 when I was born. Was I technically supposed to be here? Was I planned? As far as like being born, you know, wanting or having parents that want to have a kid? Yeah. No. But I'm here for a reason. God put me here. So why not take advantage of the time I have on this earth? Our time here is short, man.
It's right.
Very, very short. So take advantage of every day that you have, you know, whether you're going through the lowest lows or the highest highs. Like I told you earlier, stay humble, but have a chip on your shoulder because, you know, everybody's got their story. Everybody's got their highs and lows. Everybody's going through different things. Like respect everybody the same. Treat everybody the same, whether it's a homeless guy or whether it's someone famous that you're friends with. You know, everybody gets treated the same. And God's all got us here for a reason. So, yeah, I mean, my relationship, I'm not perfect. I'm not a perfect person. I definitely sin. I've had my bad moments in life. I've been in trouble in life. I've done good things. I've done bad things. But at the end of the day, like I said, man, it's your connection with God and how you perceive it and how, you know, that's all that matters is if you can connect with Him personally behind the scenes, you know, people don't have to see that. You can do it yourself. Yeah. You know, you can just, you know, whatever you do behind the scenes that connects with Him is up to you. And as long as you have that connection with Him and that relationship with Him, I think you're on the right path.
No, I 100% agree. I mean, for the people that are going to come after me, I always say it's not about religion. Mm-hmm. It's about relationship. Yeah. I'm not telling you or them or anyone else not to go to church. Yeah. Talk to God. Yeah. Have your relationship with the Lord. He'll put it in you to either go to church, not go to church, do this, do that. But it matters about your relationship. You know, are you getting up every day talking to Him? Are you praying? Yeah. I liked how you said that. You know, be humble but have a chip. You know, I come from a background. I used to be arrogant, bro. I used to do this and do that. And when I started losing everything happens for a reason. Yeah. And everything is on timing, you know. And as much as I wanted to force things, you know, it's not going to be on me. That's why I was trying to tell you prior, like in a weird way, if I were to break down all my problems and my solutions and what I got going on, I mean, or just anything going on right now, bro, I'd be stressed out.
Yeah.
I'd be this. But then it's like, I tell you, like, out of nowhere, bro, I'll get a DM, or I'll get a email, or I'll get a phone call. And then it's like I tell myself, everything is happening at God's time and for a reason.
Yeah.
So I believe that, like, exactly what you said. I used to be that person that would judge others and think, oh, well, you're in that situation because of you. No, I don't know the steps you've taken to come where you're at today. And if I just, when I tell this, at God's time, when this thing does go where it's going to go and my finances are where they're going to be, don't brag about it, because my thing is, and the crazy part about me, I don't know if I've never really been in church. I found God 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Prior to that, bro, like you said, I'm still not a good person. I'm a sinner, I'm just trying to be a better person daily. When I interact, it's genuine with people.
Yeah.
Like when I say, hey, Christian, I'm a fan of you, bro. Like, I'm genuinely a fan of you. Like, you're a neighbor. You're Madera.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I look at it like, I want to make sure that as big as this thing can get, I want to be able to say, hey, I want to bring on the Christians of the world, the Louis of the world, the other people that are out there trying. That's why what we're doing right now, we did high school football this year.
Yeah.
We're trying to bring on the little West Side kids. Imagine you said it yourself, dude, you're like $130 probably. So you're not, you're small. Imagine high school, you're probably skinnier. So it's like, and you're not a big guy now.
I'm like 175.
All right. But you know what I'm saying? You were on the line.
Yeah.
You were D-line, O-line.
Yeah.
Shout out to Carlos Neighbor, Mendota wrestling coach.
Yeah.
The dude's $110, bro.
Yeah.
He was a D-lineman, O-lineman. Like, so it's like wild to think, but the small town kids get it because we only have X amount of people to put out there, No offense to the bigger schools. I mean, it's not their fault that they're huge like that, but us small town boys, dude, we have to play both ways. We have to, do all these little things. And I think we grew up differently that way because we're put in that situation at a young age.
Yeah.
A lot of times are we going to be good people? Are we going to be bad people? And I think at the end of the day, that's why God is going to be good for you in your relationship, but it's all timing, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you're not late on anything. You're not this on anything. Just take your time.
Yeah.
Trust God. Trust the process. Everything happens for a reason. Like, literally, dude, when I reached out to you, I didn't expect you to reach back out to me that fast. Like, especially after seeing if I wouldn't have known the person that told me to reach out to you, I probably would have never reached out to you because I thought I probably wouldn't have been able to get to you. I was explaining to you how we brought on that one influencer.
Yeah.
I don't go on lives. Like, I don't know why I went on a live that day and, shoot. I just said, hey, you want to come on a podcast? He's like, where's the pod at? And then DM me, and then
that's how it happens, though. You take your shot. Like I've had moments like that this year. Like I was saying, getting on that big podcast.
I gotta watch it now. Now I gotta watch your podcast on it, and I just gotta watch them because
it's
Matthew McConaughey is one of the biggest actors in the world.
Yeah.
So like obviously, if you're telling me they have people like that on, they're huge.
Yeah, they're pretty big. I think they're top 100 podcasts in the world. So yeah, they do well for themselves.
When you're if you think about it, you're top 15 runner in the world.
No.
You're telling me,
okay,
he's being modest, right? He got third in.
Okay, so if you break it down to like specifically a world's toughest mudder type of race,
where would you say you're at? Be honest.
Oh, as far as like athlete ranking wise at that specific race, top 10, easily.
Bro, come on, you're top 10.
But that's for like one specific
still good, though,
type
bro.
of race,
If I can tell myself one day I'm a top 100 podcaster, that's
huge.
If I could tell myself one day I'm a top 10 podcaster, so give yourself. I mean, remember, I like that you're humble, but I'm just trying to make sure that people. A lot of times we don't give ourselves the flowers we deserve.
Well, it's that imposter syndrome feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like you work so hard to get to that point, and then you're like, oh, like, am I really there? Like, should I actually feel like I'm there? I've had that happen a few times in my life where it's like, okay, you hit these goals, and then you think, okay, should I really feel like this? Should I be happy about this? And then you kind of accept it, and you think, okay, well, what's next? That's how I've always been with my racing and these events. It's like you hit this goal and you feel just so euphoric about it, and you're so stoked. And then it's the first thing, or at least for me, it's like, what is next? What do I do next? I've actually had a lot of people ask me that in interviews lately. It's like, well, what are you doing after this? And I'm like, I've got some plans for next year, but I don't know. I'm sure I'll figure it out right after.
I think the thing is, like, okay, coming now, like being a believer of the Lord, you got to worry about today.
Yeah.
You can't really think what's next because you haven't even completed it. It's something that's a Guinness World Record, bro.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're just going to go to Fresno or to, you know, LA or the Bay. And no, you're going to go do 7 continents in 7 days. That's I've been out of California one time.
Really?
You know, so imagine the other people that are watching this that have never even traveled, and you're going to go run, is it 50?
50K. So 30, it's
31 miles.
Technically 31.07 miles.
So, I mean, dude, 31 miles. I don't think I've done 31 miles in my entire life. You add up the miles, bro. Like, so it's just wild to hear, see, and do. And I just really like, I got to give you your flowers, bro. It's awesome, man. And it's, like I said, that's all. You're a man of faith. You know, you're a husband. Do you have children?
No, not yet. I just got married a year ago.
You know, so. Congratulations on your marriage. You know, obviously that's something that the Lord wants us to do, you know, in his time, once again, right? And everything comes back down to timing. Isaiah 60:22, right? So, but what I want to touch on real fast, because we kind of jumped into letting you explain about the thing, is are you going to have anyone go with you? Is his wife going to go with you?
No, so to have somebody go with me on the same...
Because I think you should record this.
So I am.
Okay.
But here's how I had to do it, because if I were to take somebody with me with this group I'm going with, it would have cost the same amount of money.
So another 55K.
55 and
60.
60. And I didn't even add in. So on top of that cost was, like I said, the insurance and all that, plus my gear, you know, specific gear.
And you're not really, just so everyone out there knows this, you're not sponsored yet. So you're buying all the stuff, right?
No. So we'll get into that a little bit, but I've had some things come in recently.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like I had to pay for all this out of my own pocket up front. And to have anybody go with me would have cost, you know, that $60,000 to go on that the trip, plus their flights over to Cape Town and flights home from Miami. What I ended up doing, though, because I am going to make a long form documentary of this and film a bunch of stuff myself, and I do have a sponsor that came on for the project itself that I have to film some stuff for. So my videographer buddy that helped me with my release video, I said, "Hey, you want to fly around the world for a week?" And he's like, yeah, I won't even charge you to film anything. He's like, you send me around. He's like, I'll take care of all of it. So the way I structured it, I looked it up. The only place I couldn't get him to was Antarctica, because he would have had to fly with us, which the cost just for him to go to Antarctica with us and back was like almost 20 grand just for that. So I said, that's off the list. I can't afford that. So I ended up flying. He's going to fly to Cape Town with me on the same flight. He's going to film. So we're going to do some stuff a few days before we start. So some filming and whatnot. Then I go to Antarctica, come back. So he'll film Cape Town. Then I'm flying him to Abu Dhabi. He'll film Abu Dhabi. And he's going to fly to Cartagena. He'll film me in Cartagena. And then he'll film my last day in Miami. So he's going to get 4. The rest of it I'm going to get with just my phone. I got a GoPro.
I was like, I get a GoPro.
I got the new 360, the Max 2. And then I just got those Oakley Meta glasses.
I saw that yesterday.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's funny. I was wearing them on the way over here. We were messing with them.
You should have had them on the cast.
Dude, I told him, I said, I should wear these the whole time we're doing the podcast.
You should have. That'd have been cool. Are you in a little pre-interview? People could have really saw that. It was legit. Like, we didn't know each other, you know?
Yeah. I'm just, you know, with my golden glasses
on. Oh, well, back to, remember I told you, I have a friend that's a big influencer.
Yeah.
Shout out Oscarine's Kitchen. And he bought some.
Yeah.
And he doesn't ever wear them, bro. I'm like, my boy, like, hook it up.
Yeah,
He's like, oh, you know, he's cool. He always helps us out when he can.
Yeah.
But he's like, I don't know, I might use them later. But I was like, dude, let me just try them out.
Yeah.
He's like, you won't give them back. I was like, you're right, I won't, dude.
Well, it's cool because now I'm usually wearing glasses that kind of look like those, plus my open ear headphones. And they got, obviously, they got headphones built in. So you got 2 things in one. And you can just tell it, hey, Meta, start filming.
I guess filming. You know what, you just made me think of a question to ask, you know, because I was kind of letting you just really, the whole point of this podcast, at least part 1 of it, was just to like talk about the project, you know, a little bit about yourself, background. I thought we've done everything that I kind of wanted to do for the podcast. But I mean, when you're kind of running, now I'm gonna be a podcast real quick. I'll ask some questions. Okay,
you're good.
Do you ever have like a certain genre or music that you're bumping? Because I mean, that's 31 miles, bro. Like that's not, you know, or because some people do, they run it and they can go with nothing.
So I do both.
Oh, okay. So like kind of like half and half, or
yeah. I mean, sometimes I'll put my headphones on and I won't even turn music on. I just start running and I just like get lost in thought.
And what do you? Okay, so what? And when you're running, bro, like what are you thinking?
Dude, honestly. Here's my best way to put it. A lot of people run to get the runner's high. I get the runner's high feeling after I run, more than anything now. But while I run, it's like my meditation time to think.
Got it.
It's like my time to like release to myself and just be in my own thoughts and kind of have my own internal arguments and conversations with myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I just swear, like sometimes I'll just start running and I'll completely forget to even turn music on. I'm like 10 miles into a run thinking like, oh, haven't even turned my music on yet.
Yeah.
But if I do listen to something, sometimes I listen to podcasts while I run.
Nice.
Sometimes I've listened to a lot of rock lately. But yeah, I'll listen to anything.
It just depends.
Yeah.
On the day, the mood, the
Yeah.
mindset.
I mean, it could be Easy-E sometimes. It could be, whatever.
You just never know.
Yeah.
It could be, obviously you're going to be on 7 different continents. So it could be whatever, even that mood is that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's going to be cool. Cause I mean, how many people could say they've been to Antarctica, bro? That's the one
That's
thing
what I'm really excited
you
for.
need to like really get that footage.
Yeah.
So we can
Yeah.
later on in this podcast gets a little bit different type of, like I said, categories. We could talk about like conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
all this
Conspiracy
stuff,
theories in Antarctica.
Because everyone, you get caught up on TikTok,
Yeah.
and get one little video. And if you like it or you watch it long enough, it's like the algorithm changes to now.
Yeah,
you
the
got,
algorithm on that thing's crazy.
So I do agree on that part.
Fun fact about Antarctica, if you think about it, with the world being a globe, unless there's some flat earther conspiracies out here watching this.
That's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
They're going to come at us.
So when you think of time zones, right, your time zone points start at the North and South Pole and wrap around. So Antarctica technically has every time zone, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
a fun fact.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we are going to be in one specific time zone at the location we're going to be at.
Okay.
So,
Can you name the location or you can't?
Yeah, it's called Wolf's Fang.
What's
Wolf's Fang?
Wolf's Fang.
Antarctica. Yeah.
Got it. I look forward to it, dude. I look forward to like at least watching that part and in general everything. But I mean, you're gonna release a documentary? You said?
Yeah. So I want to do a long form doc, and then
you gotta hit up Netflix.
Yeah, we'll see, man.
You gotta get at Netflix, dude.
Hey, like
it's a Guinness World Record.
One day at a time.
Yeah.
Things have been
I'm
falling.
gonna manifest it for you, dude.
Yeah. No, dude, things have literally been falling in place the past just couple of weeks.
No, I'm telling you, it's wild.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess we could talk a little bit about like how donations and things have come on. We should jump into the Parkinson side of this.
Yeah, let's do it.
So starting this, obviously, it was like, okay, how are we going to put this record together? How are we going to put all the logistics together? Then I got to thinking, well, okay, I can't just do this for a record. I need to do this to bring awareness to something. And Michael J. Fox ad popped up on my Instagram, and they're one of the world's largest nonprofits for Parkinson's research. And immediately in my gut, my heart, I knew that's exactly what I need to do it for, because my grandpa has Parkinson's.
Mm-hmm.
So I reached out to them, and I made an athlete donation page with their company. And they were kind of helpful, but kind of not. I was like, hey, I'm doing this. Can you guys somehow maybe help sponsor a little bit to help out? And blah, blah, blah. And they said, no, we can't. Like, sorry. Like, we don't give anybody any help with anything. We just want you to raise money for us. Thanks. Like, that's how they are. But it's fine. It's all for the cause. So once I released the video, this whole thing started to get out to the public. I started boosting the reels on Instagram and marketing it to specific areas, like where I was going to go run. And reaching, I kept messing with the boost. You can change your locations, your demographic, your tags, and all this when you boost stuff on Instagram. So I kept playing with it, and I do
see that. So does that work?
Yeah, it works. So okay. I was getting like genuine followers from it, but I wasn't getting anybody to donate or to. I eventually made like a merch page where I was selling shirts and then these hats and. Selling opportunity for people to pay for a name of somebody they know with Parkinson's to be put on the back of my shirt that I'm going to wear when I run for the record. And I wasn't getting anything. So I kept pushing it. Eventually, within just like the last month or two, I started getting like quite a bit of people, buying shirts, buying a hat, donating to have a name put on everything. And I was doing more marketing on social media, more stuff with, boosting some different reels and whatnot. And just kind of started to naturally get out to the world. And then just in the past couple of weeks, I had some connections with some of the local news stations who said, hey, we think your story is absolutely incredible. We'll kind of nudge the news, see what they want to do. And everybody kind of said, well, they're going to wait a little while until it gets closer. I was like, oh man, like earlier would be best so I can get it, kind of marketed now and we can get some opportunity to come in early on. But it didn't hit until just last week.
Mm.
So last week I did ABC 30. They came out to my house, filmed me. I did Bring the Juice pod the same day, KC 24 the next day. I was on KMJ radio a couple nights ago with Alex on Balakian doing your pod.
Yeah.
I'm doing MTV Lebanon live next week because I have a connection at Lebanon.
There you go.
And it's like all of a sudden, just within the past week, it's like
It's all coming together.
boom, all like social media started blowing up. People start reaching out. People with Parkinson started reaching out to me. People in Australia were reaching out to me, asking me what day I'm going to be there to run because they work for ABC News out in Australia and they want to come film me to be on the news while I'm there running. I'm like, wow, man, it's just like you said, it's timing.
Yeah.
Right. It's like I released this whole thing later on because it is a record. And for the record's sake, you want to hold off just so nobody else is like, oh, I'm going to go do the same thing. And I had a feeling in the back of my mind, too, that it would probably start to kind of click and fall together right before I left. And it did.
Yeah.
It's like I manifested that and now it's happening.
Yeah.
And I'm just really blessed for all this opportunity. It's like every day I feel like a new opportunity presents itself. And it's just, it's been awesome. But number one, more than anything, just so everybody knows, it's like the record is cool. The record to me is the cherry on top. Originally, when I was putting this together, it was like, oh, I want to set a Guinness World Record. That's going to be badass. But as I've been going through this process and seeing what my grandpa's been going through this year with his Parkinson's journey, and to see, you know, all this impact I can make with Parkinson's, that became my number one mission. My number one goal is to raise awareness for Parkinson's, raise money for Parkinson's research. And this Guinness World Record, cool. That's the cherry on top.
Yeah.
All the following or the sponsorship opportunity that might come from this after, cool, whatever. My main goal is to raise awareness for Parkinson's, and I'm doing this in honor of my grandpa. And that's the most beautiful thing, man. When that ABC 30 segment dropped last week, I was literally in my tractor spraying an orchard, and I was watching it live in the tractor, and I started crying my eyes out, man. Like, I don't cry hardly ever.
Yeah.
Dude, I lost it. And it was just kind of a surreal moment of like all this hard work that I put in this year kind of just came together at once. And just to see, they pulled some video of some of my reels of my grandpa and I that I pulled off of VHS when I was a baby, and he's holding me. And dude, I could not stop crying for like 20 minutes, man. I was just super emotional about it. And it just, even in general, every day the past few weeks, man, I just keep thinking about the stuff. And like, I just feel like I can lose it at any second because it's just such an emotional thing kind of coming together. And I can't wait to do this, man. I can't wait to run, and just when things get hard and they suck and I'm in pain, I'm just going to keep thinking about my grandpa, thinking about all these people with Parkinson's who are literally watching and relying on me to finish this thing. So that's my main goal with this.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. Like I said, and it needs to be, there's more people that have it. You know, it's everyone thinks of Parkinson's of Michael J. Fox because he's a, you know, famous actor, but it's people like your grandfather, people that are reaching out to you, people that are going through it, the families, you know, that have to endure the behind the scenes of the disease. And I don't think people quite understand the magnitude of it, you know. And I feel like you said, it's just the cherry on top of what the whole work and all the, you know, dedication and, you know, the training and everything that you're putting in, you know. And obviously money comes and goes. Everyone talks about that. But if you don't have it, you know, and you have to take loans out and you have to figure stuff out. You're putting basically, like, literally, you're putting your whole life on the line for this thing. And, you know, I think at the end of the day, when we do sacrifices, that's something that we love. And it means something truly. Like you said, if it's just to do it to be cool, to do a Guinness World Record and, you know, like you said, sponsorships and to do, but you know, you're doing it, why you're doing it, and you're in your heart. You know, like I said, I can tell you, like, you know, if I still had my grandfather and he had something like that, I would try my very best, bro. I would go to you to help me train to get even 31 miles in. But it's something that I would consider doing, you know, or something that I can do to my ability.
Yeah.
But I think everyone out there that sees this and they maybe can get inspired to want to do something, not necessarily for Parkinson's, but if they want to do Parkinson's, great. But maybe something else that they're battling, they're going through, and they see that, they hear your struggle. Like, it's not something that you just, hey, I'm going to be here in November 10th and we're going to do, you know. It was the process that people don't get to see behind the scenes. And I feel like that was the whole point of me really trying to get you on. And it was all you, bro. That was nothing to do with me. I let you come on, and I really let you kind of talk about your, you know, this journey of, you know, the Project 5077. And I think the big thing is like my grandfather, he passed away when I was a sophomore. He was a big part of my life. So I totally understand and feel you on that. And just like I said, just everything that we've talked about, you're gonna have definitely a fan and us cheering you on. And are you gonna try to drop, like, obviously you're gonna be so busy, but are you gonna try to give like updates while you're
Yeah.
doing it live?
Yeah, as long as I have signal, I mean, even while I'm running, I'll try to put stuff up on the story, post stuff.
Yeah.
But while
We'll
we're,
repost for you too, man.
I appreciate it. Yeah. And while we're on the plane or have some downtime after the runs, I'll be posting some stuff. So
And like I said, this is just part one, bro. Because I definitely want to get you on when you complete it.
Yeah.
And that's when we'll probably bring you on at KC, in studio, ask you some questions, get your manager on, and we'll kind of go from there. And no, anything else that you want to touch on before we head off for this part one of the interview that you feel like we haven't touched on?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, man, it's been a big blessing.
Yeah,
put this whole thing together, and
it's a blessing meeting you, man.
No,
It really was, like, you hearing it and why you're doing it, and just you gave me inspiration as far as, because I'm on my journey. I kind of told you what's going on with us, and it's really cool to see that. And I'm kind of like, I'm getting the little bit of, like God's releasing the little bit of, what is to come, so I feel like 100%. Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, everybody listening, that whoever's on a journey of whether it's entrepreneurship or wanting to do something big, just follow your passion. It's going to take time. It's going to take years. And one day it's going to click. It's going to come together. I've been very fortunate with my entrepreneurial stuff that I've done over the years. And like I said, I kind of took a risk and removed some of that in the past few years to really chase my true passion and to try to make this my career, which I hope through this whole project, some blessings come from that to where maybe I can transform this somehow into my main career, then keep my other stuff going on the side. But yeah, it just takes time, man.
When we talk about, I mean, it's kind of funny. I always use him because when I think of podcasters, I really don't know a lot of people. Obviously, you exposed me earlier, but I know Rogan, right? And so I always tell people, like, I generally believe within X amount of time, God's timing, that we cannot be, I'm not going to be Joe Rogan, but maybe be as big one day as him, have a platform like him. Yeah. Have you ever considered maybe even reaching out to him and going on? Because that's something that is Rogan-like, bro. You're
the second person that's brought this up. You're like, oh, maybe one day Rogan will have you on. I'm like, man, that's a stretch. But hey, I guess if
you're talking about sponsors. You're talking about this. Let's be honest, bro. You go on Rogan, that's gonna all come eventually.
Yeah, man. We'll see, man. We'll see.
Don't want to put too much pressure. I'm just saying.
No, I mean, if Rogan called me right now and said, hey, come on, yeah, let's do this. I'm open for any opportunity. Yeah, it's sure. Awesome. Like, I just love talking about this stuff because, like I said, it's my passion, and my main goal over the years has just been to inspire people. I wasn't a good athlete, but I became a good athlete because, because I worked my ass off for it, man. Yeah. Like, I was dedicated. I had big goals I wanted to accomplish, and I trained hard. I sacrificed a lot of social life. I sacrificed a lot of time, money, just to get to where I'm at as an athlete now. And, things are starting to click. And even with the project, like I said, nothing was coming in as far as donations and sponsors. And eventually, past couple of months, I picked up a couple sponsors. I started getting a lot of donations from people in the Valley, and just truly blessed with all that coming in. And
especially now that the word is getting out. Yeah. I honestly, truly believe that, like, especially like before you become what you can become, you are a Central Valley boy. And I think a lot of times that what I'm noticing is once people get to really see it and they know, like, okay, your heart behind it, what, the intention behind it, and they know it's good, that's when the people are going to start really, like, stepping in. Because I believe us Central Valley people are small town, we're small town. We're not LA, we're not Frisco, but we're all hard workers here, bro. Like, everyone comes mainly farming, Yeah. And we're known for being the capital of, cantaloupe and fruit and, almonds and pistachios, and everyone's just working hard. You're on a tractor, watching your thing. So your grandparents and the way you were raised. I didn't necessarily have grandparents that were in farming, but I grew up around it my whole life. So I know exactly what it is. And, my parents, my dad's a truck driver. So he's always kind of been in and out of different farms and, working. My stepmother, she works for a big time farmer here in town. Yeah. So, like, I understand. And I think, like, when people really get to see what we're doing, they're like, oh man, I could really get behind that, and, like, I tell everybody, like, it's just, like you said, process and timing. Because
Yeah.
right now you're on the come up, and you're even further than me. You've been doing this for 13 years. I've only been podcasting for 6 months.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Well, you're on a good track.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Keep it going, man.
And yeah, no. So anything else you want to offer this part one? There's definitely part one of a few. Because like I said, I definitely want to. I might not even take you to KC initially right after. I might bring you right back here.
Let's do it,
because it's gonna be like you have 7 days.
Or we could do it at my house. I mean, whatever you want, man. My house, your house.
Hey,
whatever.
we could next one we could do it over there.
Yeah.
And then
I got a setup just like yours too.
really?
Yeah, I dabbled in my own podcast a couple of years ago.
Well, we could talk about that. And then, well, I mean, how'd that go? What happened?
Yeah, it was just me talking to myself basically.
Oh, okay.
It was kind of talking about like my races I had done and stuff.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
So you have the same setup at your house?
I've got a road set up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I'm down.
Yeah,
I'm down to do it
whatever you
because
want.
I would love to see like I'm gonna really pick your brain about, like I said, Antarctica.
Yeah.
You know? And then just in general, I never.
There's aliens.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
Is the real Christian gonna come back?
Yeah.
But no, it's stuff like that. Yeah, no, we'll definitely link up and we'll talk,
Yeah.
because you're leaving one more time for Project 5077. You're leaving November 10th.
Yeah, I leave November 10th, so the project starts November 15th.
November 15th.
And then it ends
okay.
November 21st. And I finish in Miami, then I'm actually flying back the next morning to LA. And then should be back home.
So you'll be back by Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be around then.
Yeah, so maybe we'll get together like sometime after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And we'll figure it
Yeah,
out.
for
And
sure.
It'll be cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you for coming by, stopping by, giving us your time, and really explaining what Project 5077 is, and reality. The whole thing behind it is behind Parkinson's disease, and for your grandfather, and just in general for everyone out there that's struggling with not only Parkinson's but other diseases. Just people out there that are trying to do something, and you're not alone. We're all going through something, and the one thing I always say is you never know what someone is truly going through behind closed doors.
Oh, exactly.
You really don't.
I'll tell you this one thing I appreciate about you and your podcast is I've never told this much to the public about what I just told you today.
Well,
So I went really in depth on a lot of things that I usually don't tell people. But yeah, I felt like comfortable enough with you, and you gave me the platform to let me speak and talk about things that I usually don't get the opportunity to talk about. So I mean, that's like a lot of personal stuff.
Yeah, we appreciate it, bro. Like I said, I don't know how to be a podcaster yet because I'm still learning, just like when you first started being an athlete, doing you said, I never thought I could do 100 miles, so you were doing 50, and now look at you, 304. Now you're going to do a 7-dayer at, what is even the math? I'm not
217 miles.
That's still a lot, dude.
Yeah.
Like I told you, in my lifetime, manager, I never even done probably 10 miles, bro, but really appreciate you stopping by. I look forward to talking to you after the project, bro. And it was nice meeting you.
Yeah,
nice meeting manager here. And like we start every podcast, guys, with a Bible verse. We end with the same Bible verse. And today's Bible verse led us to the book of Isaiah 43:2. When you go through deep waters, I will be with you. When you go through rivers of difficulty, you will not drown. When you walk through the fire of oppression, you will not be burned up. The flames will not consume you. Isaiah 43:2. And with that being said, I want to thank you, Christian Johnson, for stopping by, and Project 5077. Be on the lookout for it soon. And this is part one of hopefully many.
Yeah. Thank you,
All right,
brother.
brother.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.